one reason, the government that puts the people first on its priority, the government that puts the people first, the government that impacts on the life of the people. The past administration did all this. The past administration took the people first in its priority.
Well, Jude, the conversation is not about which government is doing better. The question is very simple. How do you assess the growth of a city, particularly Rivers State? What would you say are the indicators that Port Harcourt is growing and developing better? That's the real question. I'm not here to say this government is better than that government. That's not it.
Yeah, the development now. That's what I'm trying to say. The development now, as we see it, does not impact much on the people. That's So if we're talking of development that does not impact on the lives of the people, that development is as good as nothing.
All right, thank you very much, Jude. Zion and Jerry. Zion, good morning. We have a minute and 50 seconds for you. Go on, please.
Roads, access roads, and that is what Governor Wike has done. Do you know that if companies can have access to their facilities, investment can have access to their facilities, automatically business will grow. And that is what Governor Wike has done. Look at the clean roads. Why is Lagos booming? Look at the exotic cars in Lagos, low-bed cars in Lagos, because of good roads. And that is what Governor Wike is attracting. When you see these smooth roads, cool roads, all dual life with street lights, automatically a night life will come. Once you have access roads, good infrastructures like the building. Okay, look at the law school infrastructure which is set up, and look at some high-rise towers he has already put in place. Companies will relocate to River State. They will come with their machines. They will come with their facilities. And which people will they employ? Is Rivers people. They cannot bring outsiders. And most of all these facilities Governor Wike has put together, like the law school there's an MOU that Rivers indigenous should be staffed there automatically.
Zion. Once again, we're making this conversation a bit too personal. The question is very simple. How do you assess the growth and development of Rivers State? That's the real question. We have to go now, but please do call back after the break. So once again, I know it's not far-fetched for anybody to say, okay, this government has done this. No, but the focus is not on what this government has done. The question is very simple. How do you assess that this particular state, River State, particularly in the focus is Port Harcourt, has grown? What would you say are the yardsticks you look forward to determining if there is development, that this city is actually thriving? Now, I made mention earlier of economic indicators. Look at the population growth. There is proof that more people are in Port Harcourt now than they were about a decade ago. There is more proof to that. But if you look at that document very clearly, those of you who have access, I'll try and get up that population census from the last time it was done, and I'll read it out for you. Now, but if you look at Port Harcourt today, you can argue that yes, you have more traffic, you see more people on the roads, you obviously see more offices, you obviously see more businesses opening up, right? Good. But these places that are opening up, are they paying decent wages? Those are economic indicators. You see, in one breath, you can say there are 20 shops on a street. You can also say in another breath that of these 20 shops on this street, what's wrong with me? On this street, only about 5 of these shops pay 40,000 naira a month. Only 5. And do you know what that indicates? That indicates that the wage growth is poor. If on a street there are 20 shops, of these 20 shops, only 5 can pay 40,000 naira, there's a problem. When we come back, we're assessing what's going on in River State. if you just join what it should look like in a contemporary and a focus system, if you look at some of the biggest, very majors, it does happen. Heck, for example, I use myself when I was in university. By the time Unipost started to develop and Chopa had started to have really good places to eat and drink and things like that. There was even a cinema in the theater arts department at one point in time. For nearly 6 months, ladies and gentlemen, I did not cross Obirikwere Bridge. Didn't cross it because there was no need for me to. Everything I needed was around me. So one could argue, Chopa developed from what it used to be back in 2003. Yeah, then we were still in secondary school. That was a big deal back then. But look at River State right now and ask yourself, how many areas in River State are comparable to Port Harcourt? For example, Houston, for example, the list goes on. Austin, for example. Anyway, I digress. So we've looked at the economic indicators. How do you think Port Harcourt and River State is doing at the moment? Then the second one I want to highlight to you this morning is public service indicators. If you look at the violent crime rates in Port Harcourt, look at the quality of schools, look at the quality of hospitals, look at the quality of roads, look at the utility services available in River State. How well do you think River State has done in the past decade? Remember, not too long ago, about 4 or 3 months ago, a lot of you called in and said, street lights, they are gone, they are not on, what is going on? That, ladies and gentlemen, is meant to be a developed city indeed.
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeria Info FM. Nigeria Info, let's talk.
Well, Clement joins us this morning from Ada George. Clement, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Jude.
Welcome.
Straight to the discussion and to your question. First of all, I will use the Rumuokuta Road as an example. I was walking around that axis in 2008, 2009. In fact, 2007, 2008, 2009. You agree with me if you are in Port Harcourt that road was just a single lane, flying from where we have the old Owando Police Station at Rumuola Junction down to Rumuokuta, and then where you connect Ada George and Choba and all that. Now, when that road was dualized, that is when we have banks coming in there. Before the road was dualized, there used to be a shopping mall before the Y junction. Why am I saying this? This what's it called? A shopping mall are empty now. In those days, shopping malls used to be occupied with tenants. Landlords are smiling. Communities have their maybe secondary school leavers who are prepared to go to university being employed as maybe sales attendants and all that in that particular shopping mall. I believe the picture I'm painting, you will get it. There is a bank that came in there. I don't want to start mentioning or advertising the bank. As I speak to you now, Mr. Jude, you will hardly see a shopping mall that is filled with tenants doing business. You will hardly see. Now, these are the indices for me that attract development in a city such as River State. Yes, the projects are good. Yes, the constructions are okay. But when you attract investors, how do you sustain them? Do you know that the banks that came, one of the banks is shut down there now? One of the banks is shut down on that same axis. I don't want to start, because of time, I would have mentioned other places in River State. Even let's go to Ada George, where the governor's house is located. I can tell you shopping malls on that road that tenants are yet to occupy. Why? Because of the environment. You see, when you hear people talk, right, about development, maybe you see hoodlums. Some boys coming to ask you, show me love. And they will tell you in the city. These boys are supposed to be maybe staff or even engaged in one skill or the other, maybe in all this, shopping mall, and doing business instead of coming to say, show me love, give me your phone, start dragging handbag, some ladies early morning are going to work, go to church on a Sunday morning. And Mr. Jude, development is good, but there are things that come with development. We have not yet seen it now.
Okay, Clement says we haven't seen it now. 92.3. Hello, good morning, please.
Hello, good morning, Nigeria.
Good morning, please. Welcome.
Yes, my name is Ibisu. I'm calling from Victoria Island.
All right. Are you talking about the Victoria Island in Lagos?
Yes, in Lagos, yes.
Okay, go on, please.
Okay. The discussion on ground is a good topic, but thank God before you start your discussion, you caution people what to say. Because I find that I listen in the morning through your morning news, and the way people are arguing, throwing stone on each other, to me, Jude, I'm from River State. I don't think it's good for the Rivers youth, because most people misunderstand this topic and bring different things to this topic. So it's a good idea that people that are following it will bring different ideas into this discussion. And I thank God for Nigeria for that. People are cautioning people, like in Lagos, Bomimo and all the others, they used to caution people before they make call. But if you want our eye comes down, I don't know whether begging this topic, you are making profits, lots of our youth, the way their mindset is, when they're presenting, at the end, the way our youth, they go about it, to me, it be so. I don't think that is the best way. Because most of them are doing this thing to tell their organs that they are contributing. But what are they contributing? To some companies or the other.
But that's why the focus, Ibiso, is not on what government or whose government was in charge. The question is very simple. Now that you have been in River State, or you are living in River State, or you've seen River State, how do you assess the development? Now, you say you are from this area. How well do you think River State has developed in the last 10, 20 years? That's all I want to find out from you. What are you looking for?
Last 10, 20 years. At least we are going further.
Okay.
Why are we going for that? 1970s, when I was small, and now there is difference. And I believe our children will see more difference. We are growing. That's my point. We are growing. I don't have to throw stone on the part of this and we are going. That's my own argument.
I agree. You shouldn't throw stones at anybody right now. That's not the issue. But yes, you say River State is growing. Things are much better than they were 10, 20 years ago. But how do you assess the growth? That is the real question. Facebook and Twitter at Nigeria Info PH. Facebook and Twitter at Nigeria Info PH. That's where you find us on Facebook and on Twitter. What factors do you use to assess the growth and development in River State? 90.3. Good morning.
Good morning, Jude. My name is Divine.
Welcome, Divine. Welcome.
I'm calling from Woji.
Welcome, please.
I just like the last caller said, I don't want to throw stones. I've been listening to callers all along. I'm not from this state. If you can hear me probably from your houses. If I want to compare, if I want to look at growth development, the growth and development of River State, compare and contrast to some other states I have been to. Some years back, when I've been to Abuja, I've been going to Abuja, Lagos, I've seen developments, some giant strides have been taken, and I said, wow, this is beautiful. I didn't see that quite long in River State. Though there was development, but a bit slow.
Okay.
In the last regime, I saw the schools were built. They're not occupied but not built there, and so a few other things. But this administration also has seen that we have some giant scale development, at least Woji Aziz, that used to be dead and where you can't drive through. Excellent. The other one, Abajo, was a dead zone. Excellent. Nadua carry. I have seen some giant strides currently, and it's showing a different phase of River State. When I just came back from Lagos a few weeks ago, when I look at Lagos, I say, wow. I think I can say yes. I'm in Port Harcourt right now. I'll see some development. Because government is continuity, I don't expect one government to finish all. So what Amechi did, this one has improved more. To the next government coming, I don't want to see you work on roads in River State again. Go to Ichi, go to Omoko, go to other regions, develop those areas also to decongest River State. Before, you know how water lines used to be now. We saw 4 lanes there on that road there. we are there from morning till for some hours. And people come there to collect our food and everything. But today, you just drive before. So I drive from here to my one, from Woody to my one. In less than 10 minutes, I was in my one. My wife was shocked. In 10 minutes. Unlike before, 3 hours you're on the road. That's 3 hours of manpower when you want to be doing something meaningful with your life. You're on the road.
Interesting.
So this is a different case. I heard somebody mention this Elene One, Apajo, Odili Road flyover. Sorry, point of correction. That bridge was abandoned. It was this dispensation that completed it. I stay in this houses. This where I live. It was abandoned by the last administration. This administration finished and completed that road. It was never completed before. So thank you for what you are doing. It's a beautiful topic. I expect people to talk about improvement and development, and it will go a long way bigger than throwing stones and hitting each other. What will the next government come in do? What we are looking at. Simple. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Divine speaking to us from Woji 90.3. Hello, Potako. Good morning, please.
Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome.
This is Monday calling from Monday.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah. If you want to look at the development in River State in the last couple of years, I would say, well, it's moving very, very fine. Because I remember in those years, if I want to go to Port from One here, it would take me not less than 3-4 hours to drive. But right now, immediately you reach Akpadi Junction, if you are getting to Akpadi Junction, let's be sure that you are reaching wherever you are going in Port Harcourt. In less than 10-15 minutes, you are there. From Akpadi Junction now to Government House or my one, it will take you not less than 15 to 20 minutes. But the only challenge we have in One access is the One Road. Apart from One Road, everywhere in River State is very, very okay. But I want to use this opportunity to advise the next coming governor of River State. Please look elsewhere. Leave Port Harcourt City, leave Obiakpon, leave all the major towns, come to LMS side, go to Oyibo, go to Che, go to some areas and develop that side. There is a road that River State government needs to look in. There is a road that from Ekpeche, if you are going to Ekpeche, there is a road that will link you to Eneka. They should look into that road. There is a very fine road, and there is another road from here that will link you to Eteo. They should look for all those roads and link the communities from community to the other one.
Okay, all right. So it's all about spreading it out. Walter is in Rupok. Walter, good morning to you, please.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's a threatening topic once more. But before I was waiting. But that one is over. Developmentally, if I may put a pass mark, it would be up to 80% as compared in the 80s, 70s. We are developing.
Okay. So what do you use to measure that development? What are you seeing now that you didn't see in the 80s?
One, I know in 80s, like some of the roads. The other day I went to Omawan. There was a road I used to pass, a farm road. Do you know I get to that ways? This road has been paved. Very smooth road, farm road though, 5 years ago. But today it has been tied. I went to Shobo. I thought that it was a NDDC project. I called somebody. I said, Oganda State government did do it. I said, oh, beautiful. These are what are the things we need that our people supposed to do. Not even only government. We have NDDC that are supposed to do some of these projects. Not even state government to do everything. They are trying. Okay, look at the electricity. Go to Omawa around that kind of 7 o'clock. Because I'm always there. Go to that place, you see street light. Imogu, you see street light to Zaha. You come to this side to Ishopo, you see street light. Though they said one of the contractors ended this, Mr. Grant, native of that Omawa. That man is even trying. If we can get such people in any of the communities, if we can get such people, I think we wouldn't bother to be talking of projects. People have minds to spend money. It's not getting money. If you have the mind to spend the money,
Okay.
you know, let's look at it. In fact, they are trying. They are trying, my brother. They are trying.
All right, thank you very much, Walter. Walter says yes, there's been a lot of improvement in the past few years. Now, we've talked about the road quality, public utility, and things like that. You know, people complain about street lights. They are street lights, right? They are fixtures, but they are not working in so many areas. You know. Then, interestingly, I found that not a lot of people touched on the violent crime rates in Port Harcourt. Now, by the way, this is not to disenfranchise River State or Port Harcourt. All across the country, there's been a spate of criminality. In fact, for the past 2 years, since the end of the EndSARS campaign till today, we've seen an upsurge in kidnapping, theft, online theft. In fact, one report has that there was a 450% increase in cyber crime since 2020, 450%. So little wonder that you get to hear of Yao and so it's not new. But all of these things indicate that this particular place, you know, there is growth, there's development. All of these things. Look at, like I said, what are the quality of schools available in Port Harcourt? How many people can afford, in quotes, the very quality education that they dream of? Anyway, let's move away from all of that. Now, let's look at those public administration indicators. And that's a big issue here in River State. Look at the economic freedom rates. How easy is it for you to start a business in Port Harcourt, for example? What exactly are the labor charges involved? The tax burden. Are there issues of multiple taxation in River State? Then look at the regulatory climate. There are some places on this planet that once you have your shop, you are not worried about people come to knock at your door every day to find out if your light bulb is working. But in those places, there are some people who will come to check your business, your establishment, maybe every 6 months, every 3 months, particularly if you're in the food and beverage industry. Anyway, what's that like for you in Port Harcourt? Do you think all of these things give a good impression about Port Harcourt? 92.3, good morning.
Hello?
Good morning, please.
Yeah, good morning, please. Am I on to Azabia?
No, this is Nigeria Info, please. Apologies, 90.3 Nigeria Info. All right, so let's get to read messages now. Let's quickly jump on to WhatsApp. All right, I'll read my first message on Facebook. Onyedikachi says, governance is a continuous process. What Governor Wike has done in road infrastructure is very commendable. All right, thank you very much. Still not hitting the crux. All right, so as long as River State is concerned, there is nothing to use to assess the development in the state. As an economist, the best parameters to use to measure development is the answer the following questions, which is, what's been happening to the poverty? What has been happening to unemployment? What's been happening to inequality? If these affirmation parameters are still high in any particular society, then development is far from that society. All right, interesting comment there. That's from Ogboku Darlington. Now, WhatsApp 0809-030-6416. 009-030-6416. All right, now this one here says, Jude, you're talking as an Edo person, Barry Johnson. Well, I was talking about, you know, the connectivity in Edo State, not because I'm an Edo person, because I've lived there, yes, born there, I've lived here as well. Have my roots here as well, you know, so yeah. Anyway, I have not seen much in the area of human capital development in River State. See that phrase, human capital development? It's been bantered a lot in Port Harcourt in the past 5 years. Human capital development. What exactly is it, though? Which is important. Most governors in Nigeria don't do much, and especially when they have the oil in their state. They just wait and share the money. No care at all about creating jobs or improving lives. The so-called focus on infrastructure has not been holistic and just concentrated in a few areas. We need good roads in the rural areas so farmers can easily move their goods and people out of the community. No good investment in education in recent times. The scholarship programs discontinued. A lot of schools in the state are dilapidated with insufficient teachers. Even the civil service require new staff, but no one cares about employment. Interesting comment. All right, this one says people are not particularly fair, expecting a particular tenure of the government to do everything in the space of just 8 years. It is unrealistic. This government comes into power, and what they can do, they do. The next government comes and continues. All right, it's a very lengthy message there. All right, good morning, Nigerian Info. At this time, we're still arguing about the former governor of the present government university. How would she wake up to think of what to do? All right, that's Ibiso from Victoria Island. So there are a lot of things to consider when you make mention of development in a place. But I think I'll end here by stating this. What is the quality of life? All of these things we just mentioned. What is the quality of life for you as a Rivers person? How difficult is it for you to go to your office or from your office home? How affordable is housing in Port Harcourt? How affordable is food? How affordable are the services you like to use? You want somebody to polish your shoe? You want somebody to clean your house? How affordable are those things? There are amenities. How friendly are the people in Port Harcourt? And we're not talking about sentiment. Oh, you want to come and buy beer? They're like, no. How friendly really are Port Harcourt people? All of these really indicate how well, how great the developmental strides are being made in an area. Once again, you decide as you assess how the development in Port Harcourt has been in the last decade. My name is Jude. Hello, Port Harcourt returns.
Are you up to date with ideas for sustainability?